Have you ever felt like people treat you differently as you get older? You might have noticed that some friends drift away, family members become less patient, or even strangers seem less friendly than they used to be. It can be frustrating, even painful, to feel like you're being pushed aside, especially when you know you still have so much to offer. But what if I told you that some of this might not just be about them, but about you too? In this video, we're going to talk about 6 things that can make people start resenting you after 70. These are subtle habits, behaviors, or attitudes that, over time, can create distance between you and the people you care about. But here's the good news. Once you recognize these patterns, you can change them, strengthen your relationships, and continue being someone others genuinely enjoy being around. Stay with me until the end, because understanding these 6 things could make all the difference in how people see you, how they interact with you, and how much love and respect you continue to receive as you age. It's not about changing who you are. It's about making sure that the best version of you is what people remember. Now let's get started. Number 1, becoming too negative about everything. One of the fastest ways to push people away without even realizing it is constant negativity. Life isn't easy, and by the time you reach your 70s, you've seen plenty of hardships, health problems, financial struggles, disappointments with family or society. It's all real and it all matters. But when every conversation becomes a list of complaints, people stop wanting to listen. Negativity doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you. If every visit with your kids turns into a discussion about how bad the world is, or every conversation with a friend turns into a session about how much you dislike modern life, people start associating your presence with frustration instead of joy. It's not that your feelings aren't valid. It's that constantly focusing on what's wrong can make others feel drained. And over time, they may start avoiding interactions altogether. Think about it. Do you enjoy being around someone who only talks about what's wrong? Probably not. And the same goes for everyone else. No one expects you to be overly cheerful all the time, but balancing frustrations with moments of gratitude and curiosity can make a world of difference. So what should you do instead? Pay attention to your words. If you notice yourself leading with complaints, pause and ask yourself, is this the kind of energy I want to bring into this conversation? Try shifting the focus to something more neutral or positive. Even small things like a funny story, an interesting fact, or a compliment can make conversations more enjoyable. The bottom line? People don't avoid you because they don't care. They avoid you because they don't want to feel worse after talking to you. A little self-awareness goes a long way in making sure that when people leave a conversation with you, they feel uplifted, not exhausted. Number 2, giving unwanted advice or criticism. As you get older, you've gained a lifetime of wisdom. You've seen trends come and go, watched people make mistakes, and learned lessons the hard way. Naturally, you want to help others avoid the same pitfalls. But here's where things get tricky. If your advice isn't asked for, it can come across as judgment rather than guidance. This is especially true with younger family members. You might see your adult children or grandchildren making what you believe are obvious mistakes, whether it's how they handle money, raise their kids, or live their lives. And when you step in to correct them, even with the best intentions, they often hear it as criticism, not concern. It's not just family, this happens in friendships too. Telling a friend they should eat healthier, stop wasting money, or get out more might feel like you're helping, but to them it can feel like an attack. No one likes to feel like they're being lectured, even if the advice is good. And when people start associating conversations with you as being full of corrections and critiques, they begin pulling away. So what should you do instead? Wait until you're asked. If someone genuinely wants your advice, they will ask for it. And if they don't, it's often best to let them figure things out on their own. This doesn't mean you can't ever share your thoughts. It just means doing it in a way that respects their independence. A simple rule: ask before advising. Instead of saying, you really shouldn't be eating that, try, are you interested in some tips? I've learned about healthy eating. If they say yes, share. If they say no, let it go. It's a small shift, but it can make a huge difference in how people perceive you. The bottom line? People don't avoid advice because they don't care. They avoid it because they don't want to feel judged. When you offer guidance in a way that respects their choices, you become a trusted voice, not a source of frustration. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, refusing to adapt to change. The world is changing, always has been, always will be. But one of the biggest mistakes people make as they get older is resisting that change instead of adapting to it. It's understandable. You've lived through decades of traditions, values, and ways of doing things that now seem to be disappearing. But when you refuse to accept that times are different, it can make conversations with you feel exhausting rather than enjoyable. This shows up in a lot of ways. Maybe you insist that things were better in the old days, every time a younger person shares something they enjoy. Maybe you dismiss modern technology as unnecessary, even though it's how most people connect today. Or maybe you get frustrated when social norms shift, making it hard to relate to younger generations. But here's the truth. Change is happening whether you like it or not. And when people feel like every interaction with you turns into a debate about why the past was better than the present, they start spending less time around you. Think about technology. Yes, learning new devices, apps, and communication styles can be frustrating. But when you refuse to adapt, you make it harder for people to include you in their lives. Your grandkids might want to text instead of call. Your friends might be making plans on social media instead of over the phone. If you refuse to engage with these changes, you risk becoming more isolated, not because people don't care, but because they don't know how to include you. So what should you do instead? Stay open. You don't have to love every new trend or adopt every new habit, but a willingness to listen, learn, and adapt makes you someone people enjoy being around. Instead of saying, "That's stupid, I don't get it," try saying, "That's interesting, tell me more about it." The bottom line, people don't expect you to love every change, but they do appreciate when you stay curious rather than dismissive. Being open to new things keeps your mind sharp, your relationships strong, and your connection to the world alive. Now let's talk about something that can really create resentment: expecting too much from others without giving back. Number 4, expecting too much from others without giving back. One of the biggest sources of resentment in relationships, whether with family, friends, or even neighbors, is when one person constantly takes without giving anything in return. And unfortunately, this can become more common as people age. You might not even realize you're doing it. But if you expect others to always accommodate your needs without considering theirs, it can slowly push people away. This happens in different ways. Maybe you expect your children or grandchildren to call you first, visit you regularly, or help with errands without showing much appreciation. Maybe you rely on a friend for emotional support, but rarely ask how they're doing. Or maybe you assume that younger family members should drop everything to help you, because that's what family does. Here's the problem. People don't mind helping when they feel valued. But when they start to feel like they're being used or taken for granted, they begin to pull away. And when that happens, it's easy to feel abandoned without realizing that the pattern started with unrealistic expectations. Now, does this mean you should never ask for help? Of course not. But relationships are a two-way street. And even as you get older, you still have something to give. A kind word, a thoughtful question, a simple thank you can go a long way in making people feel appreciated. Small gestures matter. So what should you do instead? Check in with yourself. If you notice you're always the one receiving, but not giving, find ways to show gratitude and contribute. Even something as simple as sending a thoughtful message, remembering birthdays, or listening with genuine interest can make people feel valued instead of obligated. The bottom line? People are happy to be there for you when they feel respected and appreciated. But when they start to feel like they're just fulfilling an obligation, that's when they start pulling away. A little effort to show gratitude and give back, no matter how small, keeps relationships strong and genuine. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, bringing up the past too often. Memories are a beautiful thing. They remind us of the people we've loved, the experiences we've had, and the lessons we've learned. But one mistake many people make as they get older is getting stuck in the past to the point where it affects how others see them. This happens when conversations always circle back to the good old days, or when every story you tell is one that people have already heard multiple times. It's easy to fall into this habit. It feels natural to share experiences that shaped you, and reminiscing can bring comfort. But when every conversation is rooted in the past, people start to feel like they can't connect with you in the present. Think about how this comes across to younger people. If every time they talk about their lives, they're met with, "Back in my day, we did things differently," or "You kids don't understand how hard it used to be," it can feel like a barrier rather than a conversation. It makes them feel like their experiences aren't valid because they didn't live through what you did. It's not just about younger people either. Even friends your age might get frustrated if the same stories are told again and again. Over time, this can make conversations feel repetitive, predictable, and frankly, less engaging. So what should you do instead? Balance the past with the present. Share stories, but also show interest in what's happening now. Instead of just telling a memory, ask others about their lives. If you find yourself repeating a story, pause and ask yourself if the moment calls for it. And most importantly, be open to creating new experiences instead of only reliving old ones. The bottom line? Memories are meant to be cherished, not to replace the present. People want to feel connected to you today, not just to who you were years ago. By showing interest in the present and in the people around you, you keep relationships strong and conversations meaningful. Now let's talk about something that can create serious tension: not respecting boundaries in personal space. Number 6, not respecting boundaries in personal space. As we get older, our relationships with family, friends, and even neighbors evolve. But one thing that never changes is that people, no matter their age, need their personal space and boundaries respected. Unfortunately, one of the biggest mistakes people make in their later years is assuming that their presence, opinions, or needs should always take priority simply because they're older. This can show up in different ways. Maybe you expect family members to answer the phone immediately every time you call, and if they don't, you feel ignored. Maybe you drop by someone's house unannounced, assuming they'll be happy to see you, without considering that they might be busy. Or maybe you feel entitled to know details about someone's life, who they're dating, how they're spending money, what decisions they're making, without recognizing that they have the right to privacy. People may not say it out loud, but when they feel like their boundaries are being ignored, they start creating distance. They may call less, invite you over less often, or share less about their lives. And if you don't recognize this pattern, it's easy to mistake their withdrawal for neglect, when in reality, they're just trying to maintain their own space. Another way this happens is through emotional boundaries. If you regularly unload your frustrations, grief, or loneliness on the same person without considering how it affects them, they may start avoiding conversations. Everyone has their own struggles. And while it's important to express emotions, it's also important to make space for other people's feelings too. So what should you do instead? Be mindful. If someone seems hesitant to talk, ask yourself if you're giving them enough room to breathe. If you're constantly pushing for attention, ask yourself if you're respecting their time and responsibilities. And if someone sets a boundary, whether it's about visits, conversations, or personal matters, respect it without taking it personally. The bottom line? Strong relationships are built on mutual respect. When people feel like their boundaries are honored, they feel more comfortable, more willing to connect, and more likely to keep you as an important part of their lives. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. Getting older doesn't mean losing the people around you, but sometimes without realizing it, certain habits can push people away. The good news is that once you recognize these patterns, you have the power to change them. We've talked about the dangers of constant negativity, giving unwanted advice, refusing to adapt, expecting too much from others, getting stuck in the past, and not respecting boundaries. These things can slowly create resentment, but the moment you become aware of them, you can start making small changes that bring people closer instead of pushing them away. Here's the key takeaway. Relationships thrive on respect, appreciation, and balance. People want to spend time with those who make them feel good, valued, and heard. And no matter how old you are, you can be that person. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 points stood out to you the most? Have you ever experienced someone pulling away, and now you realize why? Leave a comment below. I read everyone, and your thoughts might help someone else going through the same challenges. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.